So what I have here is a 5x5x24 stainless steel water tank. The gentleman used them as oil tanks. I do have 3 of them. There is one in the car already. Let me show you. So you can see it's right there across in front of the fuel cell enclosure. You can see, so it's just like this one. So that one is sitting in there like this. So this will be our out, this will be our in, this is gonna be a drain, and then this is basically not gonna matter, it'll just stay plugged. And I'm gonna put a fill over here, like a 4-inch hole with a big fill. So that will come up like right in this area, and probably to just about as tall as the fuel cell enclosure to make it easy to put water and ice inside the tank. Now, like I said, the car's going air to water, so this will give me, I believe they said it's 3 gallons. Let me do some quick math. Okay, so the quick math says it's gonna hold about 2.5 gallons. So realistically, it'll be 2 gallons of fluid plus some ice. And then on top of that, I will have whatever's in the lines. I'm probably gonna use 1-inch line front to back. A, because I have it. I have like a whole spool of that. B, because I would have to figure out how much that is. But it's probably another gallon or so worth of fluid that I can have in the line, in the intercooler, all that stuff. So we're probably gonna be looking at like 3.5 gallons of fluid, and then a half a gallon to a gallon of ice. And that's what will work to keep the car cool. This is stainless steel, so it's not gonna corrode. I initially was told they were aluminum. I looked at the pictures, didn't think they were aluminum. Sure shit, they're not. Excuse me, but they do have mounting tabs. So this will get bolted directly to the fuel cell enclosure. And it's a very simple setup. And I bought the spares because for the cost of one or the cost of all 3, it just made sense to have an extra in case I fuck up. I ain't mad at that. Solid 3 gallons of water. A cap welded on the top of this and be able to access it right there. I think that's gonna work just right. All right, guys, so yesterday we talked about the ice water tank and the plans I had for it. And I still have the one in the car. But a lot of you guys reached out and said, hey, you need more capacity than just 2.5 gallons. So that would give me the total 5-gallon capacity plus the little fill neck, plus all the lines. And then this one up here and this one right here would get cut off, and a 1-inch barb will get welded in place, and that will be the return up here, and the fill or the feed down here would come out and immediately go to the pump, and then from the pump it would go to the intercooler, and then it would come back and return in here. There's going to be a 4-inch fill up here, and then this is basically just going to stay there because I'm not taking it apart. I may cut this off and just weld it shut using some of the extra I cut out of these. Just so it doesn't have an extra port there, and then this will be turned into a valve for draining the tanks out. But let me know what you think about that setup to use for a full 5 gallons. All right, guys, so we talked about this yesterday, and now we're getting started on it. So I'll put a clip after this of actually cutting the top off this lower one. So now they actually line up. I got a couple of gaps, but I think that's just pushed out. When I push it in, it'll be all right. So this seam is going to get welded all the way down, all the way around, and this will look like this. I'm probably going to cut these off, the extra ones, this one, and then that one, and just plate those because I have the entire top, and I'll have the whole bottom of that one that I cut out. So I'll just plate those off. I don't care if this looks perfect. The goal for this is not perfect. The goal for this is to work at a low cost, because to build an ice tank for this car with the shape that I need to make it fit just was going to be a pain in the butt and expensive. So this is my alternative for a backyard budget built ice tank. And I will be cutting the hole in the top as well. And then we'll see after actually how many gallons this thing holds. So let's get on to cutting the next half. All right, so now that that's there,
There is a hole for that 4-inch tube. The bottom and top are cut out. It's just resting there. But that's kind of what we're going for, or what I'm going for. And then that plug and that plug are going to get capped off. I'll probably actually make a strap that goes up over and do it like a reinforcement that plugs the hole and also helps tie the two together. And I'll probably do a similar strap. I have the tabs on that bottom one are bent over, but they're going to get straightened up, and then that's going to get welded all the way around the tab and in the hole to help tie them together as well, so that they are rigid as possible. But yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. All right, y'all, we're gonna seal test this now. Obviously the top tube is not connected yet, but that's okay. And fill this up to where the welds are and make sure I don't have any pinholes.
And I'll fix the pinholes and then we'll go through and actually weld that top section. And then when we're done, I'm gonna grab a gallon bucket and we're gonna see how full this actually, how many gallons it actually takes. Because obviously I can't measure this right now. Yeah, so I'm gonna fast forward this section. So you guys don't have to watch this very slow filling process in real time. And we're getting up there. And hear the sizzling.
That's filled all the way to the brim. Not that I needed to, but better safe than sorry. Okay. Dry. I think this is leaking from, yeah, this is leaking from this fitting, not from the weld. We are dry all the way around. So you can see, very, very full. And this fitting is the only thing leaking. Everything else is sealed all the way around. Oh, did I talk too soon? Yep, we have a pinhole. It's okay. Quick little fix there. Back around. Oop, and another pinhole. Yep. Okay, a couple pinholes. Not too bad. Not too bad. This is why we check. All right, guys. So the fill is now on. Everything else is welded up. I fixed the couple of leaks. So now we're going to fill this. We're going to see how many times I have to fill this in order to fill that. Okay, so about a half a gallon, and it just got to the bottom of the tube. So we're at about 5.5 gallons to fill that whole thing. Now it's not all going to be water. There will be ice in there. So it'll probably be 3 to 4 gallons of water and then 5 pounds of ice. We'll double check. There's a leak there. There was a leak there. And there was a leak. Sorry. There. And we are now dry. So all of the little pinholes are fixed, with the exception of this ugly little weld here. This came out really nice. All the way around. I just got overzealous there, so I had to fix it. But that's towards the back, it won't matter. Okay, so the last part of this is we're gonna see what this thing weighs full, with, like we said, 5.5 gallons of water in it before I drain it out and start getting it mounted in the car. Oh, my Lanza. We are at 57.6 pounds. Which means we're gonna add, call it 60 pounds, directly over the tires in the car. Now, for any of you that were here for the weight calculations, I didn't account for air to water. So that's an additional 60 pounds that I didn't account for before. All right, y'all, so that's gonna do it for today's work. Oh boy, it's in there.
I had to clearance my cover here. It's a double lap cover, so the clearance isn't gonna hurt anything, but I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room for getting the cap on. The cap's gonna sit yay tall, but I mean, she's secure, ain't going nowhere. And that's a necessary thing when we just realized it's gonna add 50 pounds to the back of the car. Like I told you guys already, like this is gonna be very easily accessible for putting the ice in. There's a 4-inch cap coming, and then that will be actually what's up here. I may have to modify it a little bit, clean it up, but that's okay. 4-inch cap's gonna go on top of this, and that will allow us to have this sealed. Everything else seals. I do have to order some well-done fittings, 1-inch barbs and stuff like that to finish the modifications to it, but it's in there, it's secure, and it looks damn good.
Like, I'm really not mad at that. And like, considering it's behind everything, you're not gonna really see it. It's not there to be a statement piece. It's just there to hold water. And then I'll be able to run. So that's our feed. That's our return. We obviously have our fill. Everything's bolted in.
This is one of those silly things, but I finally reconnected the hinge. So I wanted to verify that when this goes up like this, see, look at all the room to get in there and do what we gotta do. Yep, it's gonna work great.